Well, joining us for more is our chief foreign editor, Robert Parsons. Hello to you. Rob,
Hello.
Split reactions internationally. What do you make of the reactions we've seen coming out of Israel?
Well, it's a diplomatic disaster for Israel, no doubt about it. It's humiliating, it's a blow to its prestige, its reputation, its pride, all those things. The charges, of using starvation as a weapon of war and directing attacks versus civilians. To read from what the judges actually said, that there are reasonable grounds to believe that both individuals intentionally and knowingly deprived the civilian population in Gaza of objects indispensable to their survival, including food, water, and medicine and medical supplies, as well as fuel and electricity. That's shocking, for Israelis, who in many cases don't follow this war that closely, at least what's happening inside Gaza. So maybe in many cases not as aware as we are about what's going in Gaza. So to hear that sort of thing about two of their most prominent leaders, Netanyahu and Gallant, who until 2 weeks ago was defense minister, is shocking. And the response has been to say, look, this is completely unfair, that Israel is a democracy. It has its own legal processes which are quite capable of dealing with what's been happening in Gaza itself without recourse to the ICC, that Israel has the right to self-defense. But the response to that is, of course Israel has the right to self-defense. The ICC isn't challenging it at all on that. The question, and where the ICC is challenging Israel, is how it conducts its self-defense. But the response has been very strong, it has to be said, from Israeli leaders. Benny Gantz, for instance, talking about moral blindness, a shameful state of historic proportions. Gallant himself saying that Israel has the right to self-defense, what we've just been talking about. And the Prime Minister's office saying that it's evidence of anti-Semitic hatred of Israel. President Herzog, a dark day for humanity. The ICC has chosen the side of terror and evil over democracy and freedom.
Yeah, and yet we also saw the ICC issue no arrest warrant for Hamas's military leader, Mohammed Deif.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. So it makes it much harder, of course, for Israel to push the notion that this is in some ways directed specifically against Israel, or that it's anti-Semitic in some way. If you look at the past record of the ICC, it's not really taken any action against Israel. Most of its operations have been in Africa. So there is really very little, if any, evidence of anti-Semitism coming from the ICC. And as you point out, initially, when the chief prosecutor of the ICC, Karim Khan, called for arrest warrants, he called for 3 men, the 3 most prominent leaders of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, who at the time was the leader of Hamas, Yahya Sinwar, who at the time was the leader of Hamas in Gaza, and Mohammed Deir, the most prominent military commander in Gaza. The first 2 are definitely dead. Haniyeh killed by assumed Israel in Tehran. Yahya Sinwar killed not that long ago in Gaza. And Mohammed Deir, according to the Israelis, presumed dead following an Israeli airstrike in August in Gaza. But the fact that they've identified those 3 and the fact that they're accusing Hamas of crimes against humanity and war crimes, including extermination, murder, hostage-taking, rape, and torture, does suggest that the criticism of anti-Semitism coming from Israel is an empty one.
All right, Rob, thank you very much. Rob Parsons, our chief foreign editor.